Maqasidic Tafsir.
Where should I begin when I'm starting at the end? Pursuing the higher aim, learning the meaning of every page. Where should I begin when I'm starting at the end?
Assalamu alaikum. Sunnahfollowers presents a new class, the Maqasidic Tafsir, being taught and brought to you by SWT Layla Nashiba. Please stay tuned, streaming on all major platforms, right here on channel Sunnahfollowers.
Alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulullah. Before I begin, I do want to make a couple of announcements. Okay, hold on. She sent me the text. Okay, I do want to make a couple of announcements because a couple of the new shahadas have been asking me this question. You know, I know a lot of the new shahadas, you know, you're learning the Islam from me. Your hearts have been opened. Your hearts have been your fitra has been ignited. And I keep telling you guys, you're living in a world of innovation and deviation, whereas most of the Muslims, you know, they don't know anything about this religion. Most of the Muslims here in America fall into two groups, either Jamia or Murjia, different groups of Sufism. How can you tell? Remember, I told you guys, we don't ask what a person's aqidah is. You don't have to, if you have an understanding of your religion, you don't have to ask anyone what their minhaj is. All you have to do is look at their Facebook page. And a lot of these brothers and sisters that you new shahadas are talking to, the ones that speak badly about me, why do they hate me? Because I am not upon that Sufism. I am not upon that garbage. They refer to themselves as being Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'at. What does that mean in English? People of the Sunnah. They refer to themselves as being Salafi and all these other titles. Like I told you guys, if you have to have behind a title, something's wrong with you. Let me address this. There's no hadith on planet Earth where the Prophet Muhammad said the best 5 nights of the year to fast is during Shaban, during Rajab, all these hadiths, all these posts that y'all see on your friends' Facebook pages. And these are the people that's telling you not to listen to me. These are the people telling you to be careful of Layla. When Layla, I'm a real person who's learned from real scholars. Okay? They haven't learned from anyone. All those hadiths, those are not hadiths. First of all, what is a hadith? A hadith is something that the Prophet Muhammad said or that he did. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not say that those nights are the best nights to make dua. That's something that Imam Ash-Shafi said. Do we follow Imam Ash-Shafi? May Allah be pleased with him. He was one of the 4 imams, but we don't follow him. He's saying what he heard other people say. But did he hear the Prophet say that? No, he didn't even know the Prophet. The Prophet Muhammad did not say that. Okay, so this is what we talked about the other day, shirk. When we talked about disbelief, one of the sins of disbelief is to lie on Allah, to lie on the Prophet Muhammad, to say that the Prophet Muhammad said these 5 nights are the nights that if you make dua, Allah will answer it. That's a lie. The Prophet Muhammad never said that. There is no hadith from him that said that. So the people that's telling y'all to stay away from me, they're the ones to stay away from, because these are the people of shirk. These are the people of innovation. These are the people who want to pull you away from me. They want to pull you away from me to them, so you can be twisted and stupid about your religion and lie on Allah and the Prophet. Don't even know what a hadith is, like they are. Does everybody understand that? So I'm telling you, new shahadas, the more you learn Islam and this truthfulness from me, the more the people around you are gonna get angry, because they know that you're learning true Islam based on what the Prophet Muhammad said, not what a four imam said, or what some sheikh said, or what some mufti said. So beware of that. And also, you don't have to, these people that use titles, look at their pages. You call your person a person of the Sunnah of the Prophet, and you got on fake eyelashes. What did I tell y'all about them eyelashes? You got eyelashes going up to the moon, looking like some Jezebel. We don't wear fake hair. We don't wear fake hair. This is changing the creation of Allah. That's what the Prophet Muhammad said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Anyone that lengthens their hair artificially has the curse of Allah on them, because this is changing the creation of Allah. Allah didn't make your eyelashes to look like a cow. You've taken on the appearance of a cow. Allah didn't create us to have eyelashes like a spider. You're changing the creation. I told you, sisters, you can wear mascara. Makeup is not haram. Alcohol is not haram. But when you sisters take it to the next level, putting on fake eyelashes, fake hair weaves, fake nails, now you have changed the creation of Allah. That's what the Prophet Muhammad said. And who gave us these examples? Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him. He wasn't a four imam. He was the original companions. He was the one that the Prophet made dua for. So I'm telling you, new shahadas, y'all need to clean your Facebook pages up. If you sisters want to stay upon the straight path, you got to get rid of those people on y'all's Facebook pages who are trying to pull you away from the truth. You need to clean the awliya of shaitan off your page. Y'all understand that? And I'm going to give you sisters some advice. Don't send me the crap that they say about me. I told you guys I am notorious. Didn't I tell y'all that I am not famous? I am infamous. What does that mean? That means I am one who they hate, because we're living in the days of fitan. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said there'll be many people that call themselves Muslims, but search throughout the land, you will only find a handful of true believers. And those true believers will appear to be people of falsehood, when in reality, they are the people of truth. So I'm infamous. And I like that, because as long as I stay infamous, that means I'm on the right path. The day that I become loved by the people, the day that I become famous to the point where I got millions of followers, that's when y'all know I must be headed to the hellfire. Because the allies of Allah, we don't have that many friends. The allies of Allah, we are not liked by the people. Because remember, most people are going to be in hell. The Prophet Muhammad had a lot of enemies. The ones who loved him were his companions. The rest of the people didn't love him. Okay? So for you new shahadas, I'm asking you, don't send me The emails that these Sufi, mystic Sufi women send y'all, don't send me none of that, because I already know that me and them don't mix. That's why I told you, sisters, you will never see me sitting at a conference next to those women that y'all listen to. We don't sit, we don't mix. I'm calling to the truth. They're calling to innovation. They're calling to the four imams, or they're calling to some sheikh. When I'm calling you back to Allah through what his prophet Muhammad said with the understanding of his companions, we're like, we don't mix. We're opposites. So I already know that. I've been giving dawah for longer than any of those women. Any of those women on your Facebook pages, they haven't even been living as long as me, most of them. And I've been giving dawah for over 50 years. The fact that I'm still doing it must mean something. Okay? So don't waste my time with that. Because all it does is just, Shaitan's way of trying to put out the light. And I don't have time for that. I'm trying to keep the light. You sisters hold on to the light and clean up your Facebook pages. Anybody that tells you you shouldn't be learning from me, get them off your page.
Sister, I have a question.
Go ahead.
So my question is, so somebody said that if you're wearing like a wig or like a box braids, it's okay.
Okay, who makes the laws? Somebody or Allah and the Prophet? Did the Prophet say that you can wear a wig? Did Allah say you can wear a wig, or did somebody? That's the problem. Y'all got to stop listening to somebody. Islam is only based on two evidences, Allah and the Prophet. The Prophet is clear. He said, anyone who wears a wig, that's what he said, is cursed by Allah. You're changing the creation of Allah. That's what the Prophet said. So do you believe Muhammad Dor Rasulullah, or do you believe somebody Dor Rasulullah? Y'all not to, that's what I'm telling you, new shahadas. Y'all got to check yourself.
So, and then the other question is, if I'm wrong or right, I said, if you give birth, so that you gave birth, I said to myself, it's okay for you to do like box braids, because like that's how you.
Okay, who are you to make laws, to introduce laws into this religion that contradict what Allah said? That's what I'm saying. You sisters got to get it together. You ain't nobody. If you a Muslim, you obey the laws of Allah and submit. Keep your opinion. Keep your thoughts out. You can't say, well, Allah said I can't wear a wig, but I think it's okay for me to do. You submit. Allah made the laws and rules. You either obey him, that's what Muslim means, one who submits to what Allah says, or you continue to follow your desires and you will be amongst the millions in hell. When Allah speaks, you don't think about it. You just do what he said. Like Allah says, if you are a true believer, when I tell you something, you will say, oh Allah, I hear you. Oh Allah, I obey you, and submit. You ain't qualified to issue no Islamic verdicts. Who are you? Allah made the verdict. You can't overrule Allah. Do what he said. Y'all understand that? This is for all the new shahadas. Y'all got to stop trying to put your opinion in this religion. But the sisters that's on y'all's Facebook pages, those innovators that's on your pages, that's what they do. They put their opinions in. And that's why the prophet said there's going to be more people in hell than in paradise, because we give in to our opinions and desires instead of obeying Allah. So you sisters keep on wearing your fake hair. Keep on wearing your fake wigs and your fake eyelashes and all that, cursing yourself. And y'all want to know why you can't keep a husband, why you unhappy, why bad things is happening to you. It's because you have Allah's curse on you. Y'all understand that? You sisters and brothers too, but I'm talking to my new Shahada women. Y'all better learn to do like those female companions did and submit and keep your opinions out. You understand, sister? You can't wear no wigs. So what does a woman do if she bald head? Put a hijab on it. Put a hijab on it. Put a hijab on it and call it a day. That's what the prophet.
So I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So say like you have a daughters. Can you braid your younger daughters with weave?
What is a weave?
Like a...
No, I mean, I know what a weave is. I know what a weave is. I want you to tell me, what is a weave? What did the prophet say? The prophet said, anyone who wears a wig or anyone who lengthens their hair artificially has the curse of Allah on them, and they have changed the creation of Allah. So now you tell me, does a weave fall into that category?
Yes.
So what are you asking? Can you disobey Allah? Do you think I'm going to sit here and tell you, sister, even though Allah said you cannot put fake hair in or fake string or anything else that lengthens the hair, you think I'm going to sit here and tell you, yeah, you can do it?
No.
All right, then. So you submit.
Okay.
Y'all understand that? This is the problem with us today. And we want to know why Allah has sent the war to the Muslim lands, because Allah is angry with us. We've done the same thing that the Christians did. We've done the same things that the Jews did, and they were cursed. And now Allah is sending his punishment to us. And it's going to end up here in America too, this war. It's already started. Okay? And when Allah sends his bombs and his punishment to us, I want y'all to remember how quick we were to say, well, I don't care. Even though Allah said it, I'm going to do it anyway. Well, that's why. Remember, we will reap what we sow. So for the new shahadas out there, don't waste my time with y'all's emails from these innovative women. You know, don't send, I already know they don't like me. I don't like them either. You make the choice. Either you're going to follow the person that learn from the person that's teaching you Islam in its truthfulness, or you're going to follow these people who have titles, who are giving you hadiths and their opinions that are not based on Allah or the prophet or the companions. Y'all make that choice. But don't waste my time with it. You sisters understand? Okay. And by the way, yes, Kimmy, tonight, and by the way, Sister Kimmy, wait, let me see what she typed. Yes, my Q&A is tonight. And yes, you got questions from the moms, from the women in your community? Yes, bring them. I'll answer them. I'll answer the men's questions too. The women and the men. Bring them on. And if it's a question I can't answer, I know how to pick up the phone and call a real scholar who ain't no fake American one, who will give you the real answer based on Quran and Sunnah. Okay? Yeah, they hate me. I'm the most hated person in America. How many times I've told y'all that? I'm the most hated daya in America. I keep telling y'all that. And it's a compliment for me, because that means I'm on the right path. Okay? All right. Okay, so let's get started. Yeah, you can't put no hair weaves in. Stay away from all that. You can't use thread, none of that. Like the prophet said, anything that lengthens the hair artificially, you're changing the creation of Allah. Even if you don't understand how. Even if you don't understand how, that's changing the creation of Allah, but wearing dye isn't. That's what Sister Kimmy is saying. She wants to know, why is it that a hair weave is changing Allah's creation, but dyeing my hair blonde isn't? Because Allah knows best, that's why. He makes the rules. All we do is follow them. Like Allah said, each and every one of us will have our one-on-one with him on the day of judgment. And when you stand there before him, you can ask him whatever questions you want to then. But until then, if you believe, you will do like he said and submit, even if you don't understand why. You got it, Kimmy? Yes. See, that's one of the questions the sisters had. But bring it at 9:30. Let me do this class here now. Yeah, the Q&A is at 9:30, y'all. Let's save those questions for 9:30. Okay. All right, let's get started. This is my lecture on the Maqasidic Tafsir. And by the way, guys, this is the last of this book. I want everybody to go to Amazon.com and buy volume 2, because next week we will begin volume 2 of Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd's collection. And I'm going to tell y'all going to love volume 2, because in volume 2, it's not the science. This book, volume 1, let me put my background up so y'all can see the back. I got to make a new one. I didn't upload my new one, did I? I made a new background for the new book, but I guess I didn't upload it yet. But here, I'll put the old one up. This one, this is volume 1. And what Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd did in this volume was he went over the science that is used by the Quran interpreters to help us in our everyday lives. Volume 2, he's going to break down the Fatiha and also the weaknesses of, he's going to talk about the heart. Okay? So I'm telling you, you're going to love book 2, because it's no longer the science of the Quran, because you guys have learned the science in this class. You learned the science that is used, the science of connectivity, the science, the theme, the topic, and all of that. So we're going to put it to use in book 2. So go to, and how much does book 2 cost, Mina? If you get a chance, look up the cost of book. Wow. We're going to keep it to ourselves. Book 2 is $19.99. This one was $24, right? Okay, so go to Amazon.com, guys, and get this book, volume 2, which is only $19.99. Okay, and we're going to start it next week. Get it now get it now before the prices go up. Oh, Lord, have a mercy. Yeah. So tonight what we're going to do is finish up the example that we used as to how the Quran interpreter will use the Quran as a means of bringing about understanding and solutions to problems that is impacting us today. And we, in our case, let me put the PowerPoint up too. I think I got it up on this computer. Yeah, y'all better get that book now, why it's $19.99. Yeah, because this one was 24, right, Mina? Yeah, this was 24, I think, y'all.
That was the other book, Sister Layla.
Oh, okay. Well, we've all better jump on it. Okay, can everybody see this? Okay, we covered phase 1, 2, and 3 using the objective of obedience to Allah. Because many of you have a hard time obeying Allah. And so, what would the scholar of the Quran do to help try to instill obedience of Allah in your heart? Well, he will go to the Quran and look at those chapters that address obedience. And he will discover through the hadiths that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the way to instill obedience to Allah is by putting fear of Allah in your heart. Remember, we talked about that. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in order to be a believer, you have to, number one, have fear of Allah's punishment. Fear of Allah's punishment will cause you to submit to his laws. Why is it that Muslims today, women are wearing hair weaves and wigs when they know it's haram? Women are wearing fake eyelashes when they know it's haram. Women are not covering up. It's because they have no fear of Allah. The Prophet said, when you lack fear of him, there's no way you can submit to him. So the Quran scholar recognizes that. And then the Prophet also says, so to help develop fear of Allah, remember death. He said, remember the destroyer of pleasure, which is death. So based on that, the Quran interpreter will make death the objective. He knows from the Prophet Muhammad the way to help develop obedience to Allah is by putting the fear of Allah's punishment in the people's heart. And the best way to do that is by reminding them that we are not guaranteed to be here forever, that we can die at any moment. That is stage one. And we talked about phase one and phase two. In phase one, the Quran interpreter will go to the Quran and he will look at the surahs, because each surah of the Quran has a topic. So he will look at the surahs that address death. And there's one surah in particular, Surah An-Naziyah, which is the 79th surah of the Quran. An-Naziyah, it addresses death. That was step one. Then step two, or phase two of the process, the Quran interpreter then will look at Surah An-Nas verse by verse. Because as we talked about, every verse of a surah relates to the objective of that surah. And the objective of An-Nas is to remind us that we will die and be raised up. So he will go through each verse and write down the highlights. That was phase two. And then we talked about phase three. He will make sure that those verses do not contradict the hadiths, the other things that the Prophet Muhammad said about death. I ain't talking about Imam Shafi. We're talking because he was not a prophet nor a companion. Everything has to be weighed against what the Prophet Muhammad said, because the hadiths are the explanation of the Quran. So that's phases 1, 2, and 3. Today, we're going to cover the last two phases, which is phase 4 and 5. In phase 4, we give the proofs. We establish the proofs of the objective. The objective here is obedience to Allah due to your fear of his punishment. And then phase 5, how we initiate that by remembering death. So let's take a look at it. Let's start it off. Let's begin with phase 4. Phase 4 is the evidence. Now, when we read Surah An-Naziyah, this is Surah number 79. If you look at the first 5 verses, these are the evidences. These are the evidences. And I repeat again, these are the evidences established by Allah about what will happen when we die. For example, Allah says in the first verse, in the interpretation of the meaning, by those angels who extract, that means they pull your soul out with violence. And by those angels that remove your soul with ease. And by those who glide as if swimming. Who are the ones that glide? Those are the angels that carry it up. And those who race each other. And those who arrange each matter. So here, this is one of the evidences. This is the first verse. The Quran interpreter will write that. Then Allah speaks in the second verse, on the day when the horn will be blown. The creation will convulse, and there will follow it another one. And the hearts on that day will tremble. In other words, the people will be scared as they're raised up. Their eyes will be humbled. And they will say, shall we indeed be returned to our former state of life, even after we are crumbled bones? So again, all these verses, what the Quran interpreter will do is take these verses and summarize them. Summarize the meaning of them on paper. These are the proofs. And then there's other proofs in this surah. The next verses where Allah speaks about how he created the heavens. He's the creator. How he raised the sky and proportioned it. How he's the one that darkened the night and caused the sun to rise. How he's the one that spread forth the earth and created the water and the mountains. But all of this will crumble. On the day of judgment, all of this will be gone. The earth will become one flat plain. And man will be raised up. And man will remember the things he did here. And the hellfire will be brought forward on that day. And we will all see it. And for those who prefer the life of this world, they will enter into it. So here the interpreter would use all these verses as his dalil or his proof. That's phase 5. And then after putting those verses together, that's when he will come about setting goals that can help bring about the fear of Allah through death. And how will he set those goals? Well, he will tell the people, for example, if you're a new Shahada, or if you're an old Muslim, but you're doing sins, you're engaging into sins, you're giving into your desires. One of the things that can help you to accept the truth that death will come is to go to the graveyard, visit the graves. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, visit the graveyard because it will remind you of the hereafter. So that's what the Quran interpreter would tell a person who has no fear of Allah's punishment. You think you're going to be on earth forever? Go to the graveyard and look at all them people in there who thought they would live forever too. Also, he would set another goal. He would tell the person who has a hard time obeying Allah, why don't you go and watch a dead body be washed? Go witness the washing of a dead body. So you can see how life is gone. That'll put fear in your heart. And also, the Quran interpreter would tell the person, and go to the hospitals and witness people die. How many of us were sitting there and witnessed the death of someone? It's a painful thing to witness. It's a scary thing to witness. And also he would tell them, go to the funerals. Stand at the funerals of Muslims. and see how everything comes to an end that way. So that's an example as to how the person who's a scholar of the Quran would use the Quran to help develop fear of Allah in your heart. And I hope this is helping many of you new shahadas. You know, you don't care about disobeying Allah. Maybe if you go watch a person die, you will care about it then. Maybe if you wash a dead body, you will care about it then. Maybe if you watch a person being put in the grave, you'll care then. Remember, guys, Allah tells us in the Quran, in the interpretation of the meaning, the stupor of death is true. It will come to each and every one of us. It's true. And this is what we have been avoiding. None of us wants to die. But it's going to hit us sooner or later. And also the Quran interpreter would tell the people, look at how your hair, having gray hair. This is one of the reasons why we do not pluck the gray hair from our head. Because gray hair is a reminder that we've gotten old. It's a reminder that death is soon. Also, when you get sick, you see that you're not the strong, powerful person that your jinn may cause you to think you are. Also, when you look at the world and see the war going on, and by the way, the war is sent by Allah, not Israel. The war is sent by Allah. When you see the earthquakes, when you witness the landslides, the volcanoes, the floods going on in the world, this should all remind us of how close we are to death. And then when you travel the earth and you see the pyramids, you see the ancient buildings that used to be of people who were great and how they have been removed. All of that will help you to recognize the reality and the truth